Good morning, everybody, and welcome to ZZ Off-Road. My name is Martin, and today I'm going to be talking about my 2021 Ford F-150. So the goal of this video is to show a little bit about this truck, my experience so far with it, and share a few things that I've done to it, including some upgrades, and just give you my overall impressions of this truck now that I have actually put some off-road miles on it, and I've also put some highway miles on it. I've put just about 3,000 highway miles on this thing. All right, so as I mentioned before, this is a 2021 XLT 4x4 F-150, and I got this truck back in July of 2025. And at the time, I really wasn't expecting too much. I wasn't looking for a vehicle that I was going to, put 37s on, put a 6-inch lift on. Mainly, I wanted a vehicle that was going to be reliable for longer road trips. So that's why I opted for the 2.7 liter EcoBoost. So far, modifications to suspension and performance, I have only done two things. So one of them is going to be the 2-inch leveling kit. Now, this is off of Amazon. Everything else that this vehicle has is stock. Stock wheels, stock tires, whatever came from the dealership. A couple things I have done as well are I've got some Amazon LED bulbs for the headlights and the fog lights. As you can see, those are on right now. So I do have the LED low beam and high beam, and the Amazon fog lights as well. If you're interested in any of these, I'll put the links to them in the description below. That way you guys can go and take a look. I also do have some NOVSIGHT 4-inch LED pods for my ditch lights. So far, my experience with these has been pretty awesome. I use these as a daily, so you can either do a white daytime running light or an orange daytime running light. For the most part, I haven't had any issues. I did have to get this bracket separately, but they do sell it on Amazon. So essentially this bracket just comes in. Let's see if I can get this here. Yep. These were really, really easy to install, especially for myself. I'm not the most electronically inclined. I'm not an electrician. I don't consider myself even a novice in electricity, but these were very easy to install. They work fantastic, and I'll even show you the full-on color. That way you guys can see. All right, so it is daytime, but this is with the actual beams on. And my favorite part of these, as you can see right now, they are orange. And if I can do this with one hand, popped right off. They do turn white. So they are dual purpose, and like I said, I'm a very practical person. I like to have a little bit of everything that makes things easier. So the fact that I could switch between these and orange lights, I really liked. And for the price, you really can't beat them. All right. So as I mentioned before, this is the 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6 configuration. Performance-wise, I haven't done a single thing to this engine. No tunes, no flashes, no deletes, anything like that. I've got the stock intake right here, stock turbos, everything like that. I did install a oil catch can. This is, again, off of Amazon. If you're interested, I can put a link in the description below, but it does have a nice little dipstick here. Not that I've ever really had to use it, but I've put over 4,000 miles on this truck in the last few months alone since I put this catch can on. And there's nothing in there. So I'm very excited for that. It shows that it's a pretty healthy engine for an engine with over 100,000 miles on it. I did not like the mounting system. So it's a kind of a wonky, bracket here. I am probably going to swap this out and probably put this a little bit lower so that it's not interfering with my hood. But that's a project for later. Otherwise, this is pretty much what I've done to the engine. And also, when I bought this truck, it did come with the factory Ford tonneau cover. When I bought the truck initially, I was going to take this off. I've never been a fan of tonneau covers. But after really, experiencing the advantages of this, I love it now. I've really enjoyed the security that I get from it, the durability. It's a very durable material. All right, moving on to the inside. I always keep a soft shackle in my door just in case I need to attach a either a tow strap or a kinetic rope to my bumper, to somebody else's bumper, um, to help them in a situation like that. I also do have an impact. I also have a heavy duty impact in the back that you'll see in a little bit. I also keep a tire pressure monitor, and see if I have it in here. I also do have these quick deflates for my tires. You just simply put them on. You can set the PSI to it. If you want a little bit more information on that, let me know in the comments. I can do a full review on these if you'd like as well. So as you can see in the cab, I do have a few things, like I said, but you'll notice I did get the, this is a jump seat headrest adapter. So what this does is it has the two metal prongs that go in where the seat would, and this is an extra tray that I can use for extra storage. With all the cup holders, I don't have too much going on here, so that's why I wanted to add this. It snaps, this plastic tray snaps right into those metal pieces, and it's pretty convenient. If I need to take it out, all I need to do is raise the seat, take that out, and now I have this extra space. My 12-volt outlet, I have actually dedicated to relocating the power up to my dash. So essentially what I did was I got a, it's called a Beztek power adapter. So I ran this all the way up to my dash, as you can see right there. And what that does is it essentially relocates everything. So I think it's like 5 or 6 USB ports there. And these ports are used to power my GoPro, my iPad, or to charge it, and my phone. So I am, these cables were driving me crazy. If you're like me and you don't like having a ton of cables hanging all over the place through here and, touching your feet, going in between the seats, having to chase them down, um, that really bugs me every time I get in my truck. So I actually just routed the cables, plugged them in, routed them under the dash mount, and then I just poked them out and just made them long enough to where if I want to put my phone in here, plugs right in. If I want to put my iPad in here, plugs right in as well. And I can do a full review. So this is, the dash mount is not the bullet point dash mount that you see on a lot of the videos on YouTube. This is a Amazon knockoff, pretty much. Um, not, not bashing on bullet point at all. I'm sure their stuff is very durable. But for the price point, I didn't want to, go and spend $200 on a dash mount. I got this one for about $60 on Amazon, and it came with 3 ball mounts, and you just had to buy the arms separately. But it did come with this phone mount, the entire ball joint kit for the phone mount, and obviously 2 more ball mounts. Overall, I've really enjoyed this setup. It's a pretty durable. The only thing that does move a little bit is my iPad, and it's just because of the weight. But as far as like my phone, this thing, like, yeah, it doesn't move at all, which I really love. And normally what I like to do is I'll go on anytime I go off road, I'm going to use Onyx Off Road. And so what I'll do is I'll use this as a dedicated navigation system, and I can run my music. And if I get any calls or anything like that, that can run through my CarPlay. That way I'm hands-free. But the iPad essentially runs everything else: navigation, um, entertainment, and everything else. As far as the GoPro, I did give this a shot. I did see on YouTube about taking the battery out and running just a power cable to it. So far, as you can see, it's on right now, but it's not recording, but it is activated. That's really helpful. And I can also run my GoPro and do a preview through my screen. So, as you go through here, and then I got to connect it right here. So that's connecting right now. And then what I'll do is I'll just go to enable preview. And I really like this because you really can't see on a screen that small what's going on the GoPro. So what I like to do is I like to use this whenever I want to see what's on the screen. I can also start recording, stop recording. I can change modes in here on the fly. And there's the video mode, so I can start recording there and stop recording. So it's pretty convenient. It's pretty awesome that I can control the GoPro through this screen. So that's why I like to use the iPad for everything else except music and communications. I do plan on, I've still been looking around for some prices, but I do eventually want to get I want to get the Midland MXT 275 radio system for my truck. I'm not exactly sure where I want to mount it. If any of you out there have a 2021 and up F-150 kind of with this configuration, let me know where you mounted it. I really don't want to mount it onto the dash. It's going to be getting a lot of sunlight, so I really don't want to do that if I don't need to. But I do want to have an extra ball mount here, and somewhere here, or I can put it somewhere over here for the handheld system. And moving on to the back, you will notice right off the bat, if you have a previous extended cab, these doors open all the way. So if you look, they open all the way. And I absolutely love this. It gives me so much more access, and I can put things straight in here, not have to worry about hitting the door. Um, I'm very happy with the clearance that I get with these doors. I do have a ratchet wrench, an extra knife, and I do have a tourniquet for an emergency situation, and a hatchet. I hardly ever use those, obviously, but I like to have things that are gonna, if I need them, I want them to be readily accessible. In here, I do carry an extra ammo can, torque wrench, and a Milwaukee Impact. And I can open this up for you. So in here, I do have various just simple sockets, ratchets. I've got a crescent wrench in here, tape measure, and I do have a full tire kit in here with plugs, extra valve stems, that kind of thing. I do have an extra battery for my ratchet wrench in here. I do have a full first aid kit on hand, a headlamp. I have actually used this when we went hunting up in Island Park. So that was really nice to have. We came up on a tree. It was snowing like crazy. So we were able to cut that down, get out of the way, and get back on the road. All right. Now, obviously, in this side, the door does open all the way as well. One quirk, the seatbelt. So if the passenger over here is wearing their seatbelt, you can't open that door. So I learned this the hard way. I came in and tried to open the door, and my wife was sitting in the seat, and I damn near yanked her out of the seat. Um, so that was one thing that caught me off guard. Now I have to make sure she's not wearing her seatbelt if I want to access the back door. But I do have the Bouge RV. This is, I believe, it's the 30 liter. Let me pop the lid here. Yeah, there we go. So there's the model number for you. And oh, man, you guys, I have made use of this fridge all summer. I bought this fridge maybe a month after I bought the truck. It's a 12-volt plug-in, so all you do is just plug it in here, and you have a fridge. This fridge, Don't quote me on it, but I believe I got it for I think it was $170, $160. So if you're like me, I really don't mind paying for, good quality stuff. But when it comes to things for my truck, I decided to try a few things. The dash mount, and I wanted to try the BougeRV fridge just to see if I need it, if I even end up using it, as opposed to going and spending $500-600 on a fridge and then never using it. So that's the reason I got that. If you guys want a full review, I can do that for this fridge. My recommendations, pros and cons. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a full review on this fridge. So with that, got this truck about 6 months ago, and I've had some really good seat time in it so far, both off-road and on-road. We did take this truck up to Fins and Things in Moab. We did that whole trail. If you're interested in seeing that, I will also link that video in the description so you guys can go and watch that. This was the first time my wife had ever operated a drone. So the shots that we did, they were really high up. But if anybody is interested in that, we can also leave a description to all the equipment we use in our videos. And we are relatively like, this is my second video ever recording for YouTube. So I wanted to share my experience for this truck because it really does shine in all aspects so far. I do get a lot of questions about, is the 2.7 liter, one, is it reliable? And two, does it have enough power? Absolutely on both of those. I have had zero issues since I bought this truck. The engine runs flawlessly. And since it is a twin turbo V6, um, I do my oil changes every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. Might sound excessive, but I want to preserve the life of the engine as much as possible. And especially with turbochargers, two of them, I want to make sure I have fresh oil running through those lines, lubricating those turbos so that I don't have any premature wear on them. Other than that, I do plan on doing some more reviews, more in-depth reviews on the things that I've done to the truck, like the NOVSIGHT, the pod lights, the leveling kit, the dash mount, and also the fridge that I use every single day for my longer trips. So if any of you are interested in any more in-depth reviews, if I didn't cover something on this truck that you want me to talk about, absolutely throw it in the comments. I came out, did this video, I watched the truck up, came out, and just started recording. So if I did miss something on this truck, let me know. I'm happy to go over it. And if you have any questions, feedback, anything like that, let me know in the comments. And as always, I do appreciate everyone's time. Time is something we don't get back. So I appreciate you spending yours with me. We'll see you next time.